Grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch. No, real women don't. 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 Real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. What it do, ski ladies? How you doing? I feel really good. I'm about to have I won't say a hard conversation with you all, but I am going to have a very sensitive one. I've been floating through my day, did my morning rituals, and I'm sitting here ready to record this podcast, and my mind keeps going back to a live video that I did literally just yesterday. And so I wanted to bring that topic to the podcast. I know some of you that follow me, #1, you are not women, and #2, you are not Black. But this still applies to you all. As you all have also noticed, my messaging has changed a lot tremendously because I'm really calling out for my sisters because there are some special needs that need to be fulfilled. And in order for us to walk in our power and experience entrepreneurship at greater levels and control our lives, you guys need a special kind of love, help, and TLC. And I feel the charge from God to do that. But nevertheless, what I talk about is good for everybody. And so if you cut off this podcast after my next sentence, you should unsubscribe. Here's a sentence. Well, technically that was a sentence. And so is that. LOL. Now is the greatest time to invest in yourself. Okay. Bam. I got it out there. It really is. But my next thing is you got to be careful and watch out for scam artists. One of the most difficult decisions for a person to make is, what do I invest in next? Because if you're listening to this podcast, you should already pretty much be used to hearing things about investing yourself and really being charged to think about the kind of decisions that you're making with your money. Because we talk about money a lot on this podcast because it's a big part of the entrepreneurial journey, right? But I did this live video rant because I'm really, really sick and tired of scam artists. And I want you all to understand how to avoid scam artists. I've been a victim of one. And here's what makes it horrible is that when there is a scam artist that's doing great things in the world, it is very hard to see them. Do you hear me? It's very difficult to recognize that that is what they are. I signed up for a mastermind program when I first began this journey. I definitely could not afford it, but this woman was powerful and people were getting results working with her. She was doing great and phenomenal things and she had a multi-million-dollar business. All I wanted was to tap into her excellence and her expertise. And the way that she mapped it out, she had a 3-year plan for you to be able to reach 7 figures. The problem was that she did not disclose that this program was not for people who just had a dream. It was not for people who just wanted to motivate and inspire. It was not for people who could barely articulate who their ideal client was. Her program was really for people who started their business, were making money in their business. Even if they couldn't necessarily articulate it, they had enough clients to be able to dissect who their ideal client was, and that they had already had a foundation established. But maybe they were running their business and they were just bringing in enough to pay the bills or their half of the bills because they split it with hubby. And I could see someone taking her program and then engineering automated services, possibly even just raising their price alone could be the one thing that could quadruple their income. I mean, I have literally had a woman work with me that was barely bringing in $500 a month. And her first month after working with me, she brought in $2,000. I know that it's possible. I had another woman that had a brick and mortar business and was barely bringing just a little around $1,000 in, and she made $20,000 in 4 months. So she quadrupled her income too. So you can't tell me that it's not possible. I've had a woman that had barely sold anything and definitely had never sold a high ticket package work with me and generated just under $28,000 in sales in less than 2 months. So I'm not saying that what this woman does, that she can't do it. But if you haven't paid your dues, if you haven't started your business, if you don't know who your ideal client is, you haven't built up a social media presence, you don't have an audience, let alone have a tribe. If you don't even necessarily 100% know what your price point is, but you find yourself waffling and kind of thinking that for this service, maybe I should charge this much or that much in this scenario, instead of having your services segmented out, you didn't belong in her program. And if you hadn't even gotten one person to pay you, you didn't belong in her program. But her sales reps, all they needed to hear and see was that you were passionate about moving forward and wanting to do something with your life. And so people were dumping out 401ks, calling friends and family, asking them to borrow money. People were like me, getting a gazillion credit cards and thinking we were going to make minimum payments. Yeah, by the time I got through making minimum payments, I would have been dead after the first month, right? Whatever. But instead of that woman that talked to me, looking me in the eye and saying, I love your zeal, and I can tell you're a very passionate hard worker, but before you tackle something like this, you shouldn't be in it. She should have literally said to me, excuse me, do you have $3,000 a month to invest in this program? How are you going to generate revenue in your business in order to make sure that you keep doing that? Because the first, 90 days is really you taking in information and implementing just to track and to get data to kind of get an understanding. You probably won't get a client that fast. I'm not saying what isn't possible. And even if you do, it's not going to be $3,000 a month, because of the group of people that you're saying that they want to serve. That group of people can't bear a price point that high. They weren't concerned about that. And so it's your responsibility to look at your business and say, okay, I'm listening to people like August and some other people out there that have some integrity in the business, and I don't even have a digital product. So instead of just buying some how-to course that tells me how to do a digital product, I need to see if I can find a coach that's going to actually give me some one-to-one time to do it, and not take my ideal and concept and put it inside of their little machine or bob of a course maker and then come out with something that looks like theirs but with the name of mine. But actually taking the time to analyze the service points that my people need. or potentially even telling me that have a conversation with me and tell me that I'm not really ready for a digital product, and that 9 times out of 10, whatever I create, I'm going to have to go back and revamp it, because after I've worked with a few people in a group or one-to-one, I'm going to realize all the holes that are missing. And while my methodology may be effective, my delivery may not be. Okay. So I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, I literally just had a conversation with a woman last night, and I broke it down to her. Where she's at in her business, she doesn't have a name. Yeah, she hasn't filed paperwork, but she's done some work. People have used her services, and she's made some good side money from it. And she was like, yeah, well, before I start working with you, let me register my business. I was like, oh, what are you going to name it? I don't know. I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because what'll end up, a lot of you get the training to understand and invest at a minimum and get your feet wet so that you can feel what this journey looks like. Because at the end of the day, a person that invests with me just to make sure they want to go on the journey, on a personal development perspective, it'll never be a wasted investment because of the person that they will become. Those are transferable skills, even if they were to decide to be an employee. But once they start working in their business and they start doing the deep inner work and knowing who they're going to serve, it could have been a person with a financial company, for instance, then they might have wanted to do, August Crenshaw or AC Financials LLC. Yeah, because they're just going to go ahead and use their name or their initials, but that doesn't really resonate with their spirit or their soul. But once they start digging, and what if they realize that they really want to make more Black women millionaires, then they might want to do the BMW LLC. I know that might have been corny, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. But they're going to love saying it because it is BMW and because it's, for Black women. And every time they say the name of their business, they're going to absolutely love it. And so a lot of you think you know what you should do in what order and why. And all you need is somebody to stroke your ego and make you feel good and tell you how much money you can make, and you ready to jump. And you got to stop it, because those people are scam artists. Some of you have to realize you will never have a product that's $3,000 a month. Some of you have products that'll never be $1,000 a month. Quit letting people mind fuck you and ask you questions like, you need to charge a higher ticket because, do you want to be the Walmart or Nordstrom of the online arena? How about either one, heifer? Because both of them are balling. You know what I'm saying? It's all about perspective, and you can make a generous amount of money, and you just have to structure your business appropriately for the business model that you want to implement. So it is the best time to invest in yourself, but watch out for high ticket scam artists. Okay. That's my message for you all today. Keep beasting, keep rocking. To my sisters and anybody that needs help with your business, stop playing around and register for the Business Mastery Summit. We're going to be talking about everything you need in order to be visible, how to be on point spiritually, emotionally, and get out here and do what you do. We kick off. It's 21 days. We got 3 weeks. We kick off in 3 freaking weeks. All right. So I love you all. I'm going to get out of here. I'm gone. Deuces.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch. real